What a beautiful sunrise. Good morning, everyone. I just want to enjoy the view. It's amazing. It's low tide here, and for today I plan on making a worm bin to dispose of our food scraps. In this town we don't have any garbage collection, so we need to make sure that our garbage is managed properly. We do have our own recycling station, so that's good, but otherwise all the rest of the garbage we need to take care ourselves. Last year I did start my worm bin, and I'm going to be harvesting or collecting the castings around July, so that's a couple of months away. And today I want to make a new one so that it's ready to be used before I do that harvest. Such a lovely sunrise. I can't get enough of it. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to use this 3-gallon bucket. It used to be a container of paint, so I need to clean this. And then I would have to make some holes in it, so we will need a drill. And we'll also need some newspaper, shredded newspaper, which is also wet but not dripping wet. Make sure that when you squeeze there's no water coming out. It's just right moisture. And then I'll also put in some compost to start off the microorganisms, start to decompose the food scraps so that it's ready for the worms to eat. And of course, finally, I would add some food scraps. This contains a bit of tea bags and also apple core, and that's kumara peelings. I also have there coffee grounds and some carrots. It's not a lot, but I'll just start off with that. Right, so here's our 3-gallon bucket. I have holes on the side all over, up to the bottom. Okay, this is a bin that I'm going to bury at the backyard by the vegetable plot that I'm trying to organize. Last year, these are the bins that I started, and if you guys are going to make use of a square bin and you just want to be able to harvest or collect the worm castings, then the holes would have to be just enough so that they have air going into the bin. I also have holes at the bottom just to make sure that whatever extra water that goes in, because this doesn't have any lid, and I'm keeping this outside the house, so if in case rainwater goes in, which I hope it doesn't, that's why I have this perspex, but if it does, then the worms won't drown with the extra water. I also don't want to have anaerobic process going on in there. If I didn't put holes at the bottom, then it might start to get stinky. Right now, both of these bins, all three of these bins actually don't smell. That's the good part of vermicomposting. I don't need to worry about any flies or bad smell. I already made a hole at the backyard where I want my bin to be located. I'm preparing this as a vegetable plot. I have some here, but I haven't finished. Anyway, it's all right. I'll just establish this bit first for conditioning the soil also. But yeah, I don't want the hole too deep because the holes here at the top need to be above the soil for air. And after I have put this, then I can just cover it up with the soil. And there. Now I have it placed. I'm going to put in some of my wet shredded newspaper, and there are actually thousands of different types of worms, and I'm using the red wrigglers for my composting. They're different from the usual garden worms in such a way that they don't really like dirt. That's why I'm preparing this as their bedding, so they will live here. And I'll put in some of my compost material so that it will kick off the process of decomposing the food scraps that I will be placing in this bin. Just a handful. And then I'll also place, these are my food scraps. Oops, I don't have much food scraps to place in this bin, but anyway, I'll just grab a few of this red wrigglers that I already have in my other worm bin, which initially I got this from the local worm farm, and that was last year, but they have multiplied since then, so I'll grab this and then place it in my new bin. For those of you who are squeamish, not to worry, you don't have to handle the worms yourself, I make use of my good old fork so that I can just grab them and transfer them. By the way, I don't put any dairy products or any meat or grease in my worm bin. I avoid them, and also I don't leave my worm bin like exposed, all my food scraps. I always cover them up with newspaper, shredded newspaper, and I make sure that it's a thick layer of newspaper so that I don't get any fruit flies or any house flies or whatever else that I don't need in my worm bin. And of course, my good old rubber gloves protect me and give me a bit of confidence when I'm handling worms. Now, it's really important to place a lot of the wet shredded newspaper on top so that it will prevent other bugs and insects and flies to smell the food scraps so that they won't get in. And that's the reason why I also have a lid for this, which doesn't have any holes, because I don't want any rodents or whatever else that would be interested in the food scraps if they smell it. Yeah, so the worms can eat up the scraps that I'm putting in without creating any problems or issues with the smell. All right, so that's it. I'll top up some of the newspaper, shredded newspaper. I'll just grab some more, and that's it. Hopefully the worms will get established. I don't know yet how fast they can eat those scraps that I put in, but I'll be monitoring. So I'll look in maybe in a week's time, see how they're going, because they can also, if they finish the scraps, they can also eat the newspaper, shredded newspapers. I can use any type of paper except for the ones that are glossy, because they are toxic to the red wrigglers. Okay, so we have our lid secured and it's all done. If you guys have any questions, place it in the comments and I'll try my best to answer. And please subscribe if you guys are interested in my videos and the updates that I'm going to be making. I'll update you guys on how this bin is going, and also the collection of the worm castings of my year-old worm bin, and then I'll be able to place them in my vegetable garden. Yay! Okay, so until next time, thank you.